Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 77 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your DM, Jillian, and here we have today, same as always, our players. We have Kyle, Mac, Josh, Abby, and Christo. Hopefully Frank will be joining us, fingers crossed. If not, I'll just make up some Tordric shenanigans and everybody can deal with them, is what I will do. And you guys will just have to handle whatever I decide's happening.
Oh boy.
Just a reminder, we're playing bingo, and last session, somebody got bingo. Abby and Saga have inspiration that they can use, and hopefully the rest of the party will start to catch up and get their own inspiration. Saga has wowed us by the last thing you did was trying milk again. very, very climactic.
It was on the thing. You told me to do it.
It was my choice. And you accepted it. Perfect. Yep. But that's okay. We are, hey, what's up? I skip a week. Can't do it. I'm going to give you guys a quick recap, and then I think we can jump into things. Last session, the party continued to be bad boys, because that's the vibe of the last two sessions. You did a drug deal. You stole from a temple, and this session, you threw a large block party to have alibis for the fact that you were going to infiltrate an inn that denied you access and fill it with rats and steal their recipe book. You did it.
We did it.
You guys did it. You guys had the greatest party. I think 4 nat 20s were rolled throughout that whole experience. Good for y'all. It was a beautiful party in a beautiful...
It was the best block party in the history of block parties.
Saga disguised herself as a traveling dignitary, and after making all of the workers there very uncomfortable and scared, she then filled the place with snow and ice and the spirit of the Jotun goddess, the Uproar. But you all had returned home to this inn that you were staying at, the Gruesome Chicken. The party was still to be had. The cops shut it down because you were going into the streets and shooting arrows, and they're like,
Boo!
Please stop. And some people go home, some people stay and party, some people fall asleep on the ground, some people make it back to their rooms. Some rooms are full of shit and a goat. It's like that sometimes. And
oh boy,
that is where we left off, with the morning coming, and Roshan received a gift from Egil, a way to communicate with him more, intimately if necessary. It only has 3 charges on it, I believe. And that is where we will start, with everybody waking up. Gorbjorn. Oh, where do you think you fell asleep? Goat room?
Yeah, I'm sitting. I'm leaning against the door, falling asleep, just holding the bag. Obviously, people knock and wake me up to let them in and out, but
yeah. You sit against the door, and eventually, when people are done entering and leaving the room, you fall asleep, and the night is quiet, and you dream. And it's not a lot. It's sort of that place between being awake and being asleep, where you're aware that you're sleeping, but nothing's really happening. And you're just in this dark space. And it's quiet. And then there's a sense of dread. Just feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You cannot move. And you can feel that you're in the sitting position. You are against the door. You can feel the wood against your back. And you're staring straight ahead at the window. Unmoving. Unable to blink. You see the window before you, and it is engulfed in darkness. And you feel like you're being hunted. It is a strange, overwhelming sensation. And then at the last second, you swear you can see something in the distance through the window. And then you wake up and the sun is out. The goat is staring at you. and there are people in this shit room, and you are awake, and you don't see anything around you. All you see is this goat who like makes eye contact with you, and for the first time ever, it makes a noise at you and then like clops around the room. It seems much more lively today.
It's going in the bag.
I would love you to try and catch this goat. Go ahead and do athletics. We'll do opposed athletics against this goat. You have a good chance of winning. You're like, not today, nerd. You chase this goat down.
That'd be 23.
This goat puts up a damn good fight with a 17. But you are able to wrangle it. It continues to yell, and you're like, shush. And you throw it into the bag. At this point, everybody is awake and moving. You all are welcome to gather as you see fit. What would you guys like to do? Uh-huh.
Go ahead, Mac.
Well, I think that as everyone starts waking up, we need to sort out priorities for the day. Head count, who all is in the non-shit room?
I would love to help you with this. Would you like to gather everyone in the non-shit room?
I think that's for the best, if it is possible to be done.
Everybody is welcome to be gathered in the non-shit room. And you're all there. It's magic.
Great storytelling.
Perfect. You all magically appear in the room. Wow.
Thank you, O Weaver, and your merciful loom.
There's no goat. It's interesting. Tordrick is very hungover, which is not the most normal situation, but the man went hard. So he's just kind of propped up in the corner. Almost like when you draw eyes on your eyelids, so it looks like you're awake. There's nothing behind the eyes at the moment, as he just kind of like,
Saga's looking around very concerned, but she doesn't want to mention that she's looking for the goat. But she's got the I'm worried about my goat face on, the classic.
I assume I could see that, so I would hand over the bag of holding that it's in, and it's like, I put it in bag.
How long ago?
Just now.
Okay. That's, so what do you want to talk about, Nana? You want to talk about it within the next 8 minutes or 9?
That's a very specific time frame, but I doubt this will take much longer than that, if that long.
Okay.
Nana kind of like eyeballs the bag in Saga's hands, eyes flick over to Gorbjorn, and then she takes a breath and redirects. Alright, so we all have heard at this point about the demonstration or what have you that, what was the name of the bloke who said he could stop the corruption? The knight? The guard?
The guard.
The guard. Whether or not it is Bosch, I think it's worth checking out, if nothing else. We don't all have to go, but I think that it's worth at least some of us being present, just to know what's going on.
I agree. Go ahead, Saga.
Well, no, I think maybe if we do some people stay and sneak around, and then some of us leave. Get ready to travel?
I don't think I should stay in town right now.
I probably shouldn't either.
That's probably a good point.
I'll stay with you, Nana. We can make time on the road and catch up to them.
We certainly can. Tordrick, it looks to me like you might like to go on the road, hey? Go on ahead with Saga and Gorbjorn?
Oh, yeah, he doesn't like it when you yell during this.
Just trying to make sure he heard me.
I was just concerned because you guys had talked about that the temple was robbed, and I thought I should go by there and see if they need any help.
No, I'm sure they're fine.
it would make me feel a lot better if I went and checked it out because, I feel like we had a connection, and for something like that to happen seems very terrible.
Very.
Well, we have a lot to do, so and if we're gonna go out, you know what, Sordric, if we're gonna go out in the woods by ourselves, we would need somebody there to protect us. So I mean, I guess you can stay in the town, but it would be really nice to have you since you're so strong and good at protecting us and everything. But I understand.
Saga's got him around her little finger here.
Saga, I'd love you to roll persuasion with advantage. This
Okay.
is your very kind friend who cares a lot about you guys.
This is true.
Oh, natural 20.
Holy shit!
Um,
Well, I was
It's a
about
tw-
to have Nana chime in and help,
It's
but
a-
you don't need it.
The 28.
Jesus.
rolled a 9. He looks at you and seems very conflicted for a moment. Well, I don't want you to get hurt, and maybe while we're out, we could find maybe there's a stream along the road or something that we could find, and I
Yes.
could pray for the temple, and maybe that'll help.
I think so. We haven't done anything like that in a while. I think it would be very good.
Okay.
Perhaps if you would like to, I don't know, pass along something to give to the temple, so long as at least Fen and I are in town. I don't know what your plans are, Roshan, but if nothing else, Fen and I might be able to stop in at the temple and leave them anything you might like to give as a gift or tribute or what have you.
I think I'll stay with you. I wanted to look out for the butcher's daughter, see if she was among the people gathered with the guard.
Right. I was wondering whether or not this may be in fact the same gentleman. I don't know, but hardly seems worth considering a coincidence, given how recently we heard about this.
Oh. Tordrick kind of pops up and he's like trying to get his eyes to focus, and he opens his bag and he pulls out the recipe book. We have to give this to Ember.
Oh, we must, yes.
Perhaps we can get that done before we gather in the square for the guard.
Or
Yes.
either way, or we could swing by, whatever's easiest for you guys, so that you have time to go by the temple.
Is it on like the edge of town or is it in the middle of town?
It's in more the middle of town.
Not really a swing by.
Is the temple right next to the square?
The temple is not incredibly far from the square. Ember is further from both of those.
Yeah, so it makes sense to hit her first and then.
Is she on the way out of town?
It's all the same if you're going through the center. So it would not be out of the way. It would not be a lot of backtracking, if any.
Well, I think that sounds like a solid plan.
Is Tull going to go with you, I assume?
Ptolemaeus is not in the room.
Oh.
Where's he at? Did he go down for breakfast? Did he disappear last night?
Is Hercules in here?
You don't see Hercules either.
He and Tall must
Surprised me.
be out palling around.
Friends just running around the streets outside of the gruesome chicken.
Yeah, the crazy extrovert that Ptolemaeus is shown to be.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I do want to know, were they in the room last night when we came in to sleep?
Roll intelligence with disadvantage.
Oh, I was pretty drunk. Oh no. With disadvantage.
100%.
Well, we'll find out. Ooh. Well, that's not the worst. Might not be enough, but let's find out. Where the fuck is my sheet? That's the tab. There we go. You said straight intelligence check?
Yep.
That's the worst of the two is a 16.
You saw him at the party last night. You also saw him in the room for a little bit last night.
Okay. So
Is that-
it's probable he was just earlier in rising than the rest of us, I guess. Was he there when Nana woke? If she was maybe like...
Nope.
No?
The earliest you guys woke up was when Roshan answered the door to receive a gift. Ptolemaeus was not in the room at that time, and the people in the shit goat room can confirm he was not in there.
Oh, good. Okay.
So Roshan did not sleep last night.
Yeah.
Did he notice when he slipped out?
Go ahead and roll me a perception check because you were actively doing things.
Yeah.
Possible he could have gotten out undetected, but
14.
you can vaguely remember him getting up and going in the morning. So you know it
Okay.
was sometime in the morning.
Perhaps he's just downstairs, or if we end up being ready to leave before we find him, I can send him a message and hopefully catch up with him.
Okay. So, this armor that I have, I think she was gonna take it back, right? Something, and then give it back to us. Well, she was gonna give us a discount. What was, had we paid?
Well, I'll remind you because it has been like a month.
It was time.
You paid for it. She said you would have to basically pay the rest if you did not complete this mission.
Got it.
So this
Okay.
armor belongs to you, and you may keep it.
Okay. I will remove the armor though, and give it to Fen. Here you go. This is yours.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you were the one that wanted it in the first place, of course.
Saga could embroider this one as well.
Absolutely.
Or you
If,
can make it
uh,
already embroidered.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can just
can.
make
You
it
can
do
just
that.
Clamor it to make
Oh,
it
yeah.
embroidered as well.
Whoops.
Get magic.
Up to
Thank you. I still have Ember's flute. I'm not sure if she wanted that back, but if we're stopping by there,
She said she
Yeah,
told
gave that
me
to us.
that if we got the recipe book, that we get to keep it.
Yeah, that's Tordrick's.
oh, all right, and then I'll give that to Tordrick.
You're very excited about it. He's like, I don't play flutes, but I'll figure it out. And he puts it in his inventory.
Just don't play it at camp, please.
He kind of just lets the silence fade into the next conversation.
No promise.
No, yeah.
Honestly, if you want to practice, both Fen and I've got pan flutes. You could brush up there, and then
I just don't want her to bring rats to the camp.
I
Yes.
will practice the flute safely.
You know what? And we're right about to go out into the forest where rats are perfectly allowed. So,
That sounds great.
that's
I
very
think-
true.
shall we grab breakfast and leave then? And you guys can do your stuff?
Sounds good.
Okay.
If there's any last business that any of you who are leaving now need us who are staying to take care of, aside from what we've already discussed, do let us know.
There is one thing. I have this pair of gloves that I need you to give to the guy with the cold hands.
Yes.
Yes.
DM, help me.
His name's Garth.
I knew it
Garth,
started with a
that's
D, but I couldn't
right.
remember what
yeah.
the name was.
His name's
Like,
Garth.
Gary.
Oh no!
You know the
But,
guy
like,
with
it
the
has
name.
been a month. It has been a month. Oh yes, of course. He'll be rather put out that you weren't able to give them to him yourself.
Well, gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, Fen can turn into people. He could always turn into me and then give it to him. I'm sure if that was the case, that could happen. But it's probably fine.
I
You can just give them to him. I'm sure he'll understand.
Yes, I think we'll just give it to him. That'll be fine. Thank you.
you want us to get a mailing address for him or anything if you want to stay in touch?
Well, he said he was gonna be. I don't know where he lives or anything, but he said he was gonna be at the guard place, so you can find him there.
Would you like us to request his address so that you can send him a letter sometime? Let him know you're doing all right.
Well, why would I do that?
I don't know. It seemed like you had a bond.
I mean, nothing more than I have with everybody that I meet all the time, you know?
Fair enough.
Anyway, I need to go air out the goat, so I'm gonna go.
Okay.
You can see the cogs in Tordrick's mind trying to slowly turn and put
Oh,
everything
no.
together. It's taking him a minute.
It's a saying from where I'm from, you know? Because I remember that.
Is
Huh. I'll remember that. All right. People start to
Okay.
leave. Saga, what would you like to do?
I do need to. The goat does need to breathe, so hopefully Tordrick will move ahead of us, and then I'll just like when we get like far enough away or in an alley or something, I'll just quickly like give him a breath.
I'm gonna roll to see if this goat bleats the second that its heads out.
Am I? Oh,
Oh,
It does not. It's just like, and then its head back in.
I try to like pet him in the right kind of spot where like
The goat looks at you betrayed and then is pushed back.
no.
no. Pets.
You all grab a handful of breakfast. You walk over the unconscious bodies that litter the floor of this place. There's not an available table. It is the sound of snoring and just gross people noises as you walk downstairs. Like, good. But you are able to acquire some food, some hair of the dog if necessary. And as you walk to the door, outside, you can hear like the sound of, it sounds like children laughing. And as you step out, you can see Ptolemy sitting on a box by the door. And children and Hercules like running in circles while he's blowing these bubbles, just soft rainbow orbs that float by, and children try to swat them out of the air. He looks over. Oh, good morning, and turns and like blows just a line of small bubbles.
So I was
That-
distracted.
Is that like anything like what we might have seen? Do we have access to
you guys
this?
have soap. You guys know bubbles are possible.
All
but
right, fair enough.
These bubbles are very colorful comparatively, and like each one sort of leaning in like very aggressive color displays.
this is some professional bubbles.
This is professional grade bubble liquid. Are we staying in town? What are we doing?
The plan is to head out. Several of us are staying for a little while to run some errands. A couple people are going to hopefully find a stream and pray by it, and we'll catch up hopefully later this evening.
Huh. He dwells on it for a second. Tordrick, are you praying? Tordrick goes, and like nods and grunts. I think I would like to see that.
Oh, I'll be there too. This will be great. We can all pray together.
Of course. And he stands up and he hands the bubble liquid to the oldest child. And kind of gives a nod and then picks up Hercules. Okay. I'm ready when you are. So the party is first as a unit going to see Ember, or are you splitting?
I thought the plan was to split and get the goat smugglers out of town as soon as possible.
Okay.
Before Tordrick gets out of sight, Nana would like to kind of like, I don't know, assist him with something that he's like picking up, like maybe help him with some of his gear, and in the process kind of like lean down and murmur, "Say a prayer for me if you would, please."
Of course.
Thank you. It's been an interesting time recently, so yeah, little extra help couldn't hurt.
I can do that. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Toadette.
And when you swing by the temple, I don't really have anything to give, but if they need help with something and you need me to come back, just message me.
Yeah, Roshan should be able to. I'll
Of course.
get his
Okay.
attention if we need to get you back to the temple for any
Hopefully
reason.
everyone's okay. This is very troubling.
Yes, yes.
Well, we're leaving town very quickly.
Yeah, it does seem like we are, indeed. Go on ahead and safe journey. We'll see you later this evening, all right?
Okay. Well, I guess we'll try not to go too far.
I shouldn't think the stream would be too far away to a spot where it should be quite close to the road.
Okay. And go ahead.
I do make sure to catch Roshan's eyes when I do the don't message him motion. When he says that over top of Torchic. And Nana and everybody, when you go to see Ember, just say goodbye to her for me and everything, and that would definitely, if I have time and other circumstances are different, maybe whatever, I'll be able to come back and we can have that bread and everything. Or oh no, she said she was gonna give me another suggestion for like a hobby to do. So she figured that out. And let me know what she says. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
We'll pass the message along.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
It's just okay. Bye. Trying to like turn and like air out the bag a little bit.
Try and make it part of her sachet.
Ptolemaeus, Tordrecht, Gorbjorn, and Saga are currently leaving town with as much alacrity as they can muster without looking incredibly suspicious by just flooring it.
Don't look suspicious. Don't look suspicious.
Sadly, it's not that you're suspicious. It's just the fact that you travel everywhere with a unicorn. So there is a unicorn trailing behind the cart. It's like kind of just like mad dogging like anybody who comes by. Because that was kind of the last incentive it was given. So it's keeping it up.
Yes.
It's
Glare
like
at people.
an aggressive
I'm gonna
unicorn.
leave that. I'm gonna leave that.
Yeah. I would love, just from Team Leaving Town Casually, a group stealth and or performance check.
Hmm.
Oh, that'll be a performance from me.
Tordrick, Ptolemaeus are not going to roll because they aren't doing anything wrong or illegal. They're just casually sitting in a cart, not worried that the law could show up at any moment.
I got an 18.
Gorbjorn's just dodge rolling under the cart.
I'm not even like I got another natural 20, and I'm not joking.
Holy shit, Saga!
Saga
I don't
looks like a
look a
woman
cucumber.
who did not steal a goat, did
No.
not infiltrate a temple and make people hallucinate seeing their god, did
Mhm.
not just make the active decision to put a snowstorm inside of an inn.
Uh-huh.
She looks like regular old, very happy to be here, Saga. And Tordrick fully still believes that, and it's hard for him to put it all together because he doesn't want to think the worst of you guys. But that group starts to casually leave town. The rest of you, where to?
What is the most efficient way to hit our stops and
do
still
all
get
of
to the
them.
guard? Yeah.
What are your
Google
stops
Maps.
besides Ember?
Ember, temple, and guard.
Oh, you guys are actually going to the temple? I thought that was a
I
lie.
mean, I want to at least poke a nose into the
Sure.
temple and sort of see what the situation is, because I sure hope to God Fen wasn't seen.
They,
You don't know?
I don't
I'm sure
know.
the strobing saga was seen.
Yeah, there was a strobing person, so that person may or may
Mm.
not have been seen.
Don't go in like high. Just try to be quiet. I
I'll
don't
be
know. I'm not
Don't
here.
go in high. Don't blaze it beforehand.
So I think the first step would be Ember and then the temple, and then wait for the guard.
Okay, on the way to Ember, I would like to find a fresh bread salesman
Yes.
just to get a silver's worth of fresh bread.
Consider it done. This guy's just opened his door, and he just are like holding up his silver. He's like, all right.
Silver of bread.
Halfway through tying his apron. And you have a nice loaf of bread.
And then we'll take that bread to Ember.
Yeah, you
Hell
all
yeah.
arrive at the Hidden Ember, a building that stands sort of crushed between two other buildings, as if it was defiantly put there and would not go anywhere else. You enter, and it is the smell of incense, and there's the very subtle smell of like
Brimstone.
rotten eggs. Yeah. When Saga smelled it, she really wouldn't have known what brimstone was. So I've just been describing it as eggies. Is she making breakfast? What's up?
I brought toast for breakfast, pre-toast, but you got the fire, so.
Yeah, you see
Hey.
You got
the
the fire,
stone
girl.
pillars in the center, where the sort of bubbling magma mephits sit on top and like watch all of you as you go by. Cramped, small, and Ember looks up from it looks like she's fiddling with something in a mortar and pestle, and then she stops.
There's no one else in the store, right?
Nobody else in the store.
Okay.
You've yet to see a person in this store.
Well, we are happy to be some significant patrons, I suppose.
She smiles.
We come bearing gifts.
That is very exciting. Let me see it.
I will get out first the loaf of bread.
Uh-huh. She says.
Yeah.
Unexcited by the bread.
But also.
And then the cookbook.
Much more excited. Just kind of like very casually, just like reaches for it, just snatches it out of your hands, and then tries to be very casual about it again. And begins to flip through it. Very good. Keep all of the things. You have a discount forever, blah, blah, blah. She just sort of flips through.
We'll be happy to come back on our way back east, perhaps, or west.
The other one.
And our friend Saga was wondering if you had any suggestions for a hobby for her.
She does
All right.
apologize that she can't ask you in person. Some other business has taken her and some of our other friends along a bit ahead on the road.
Yes, some business. It's a good thing that maybe you're leaving town rapidly. She flips through the book and then glances up. An activity, and then like looks over the group. How about
Arson.
Have
It
you
has a little
considered it?
fire
moment
as a
in her head
treat.
where that's an option?
I
And
mean,
she looks around. Maybe you all are in the market for some more work.
Well,
That's as good a hobby as any. Is there something you need done in the South?
Actually, she smiles. That could be very helpful. And she continues to like try to look at you and then try to look down and is like flipping through each page, just brushing off a lot of pages as she goes by.
I only want to know, not to put a stopper on a potential business dealing, but I did make something of a promise to a friend that we would try to not necessarily traffic in illicit goods specifically.
That was like, there was a 24-hour on that one. No more of that today, and that was yesterday, so we're good.
I agree with that. I'm not.
Oh
there,
my
I
god.
agree.
She kind of looks around. A couple of the jobs I might have offered to different individuals in your party, but I can hold off. That's fine. I cannot say these are legal, but they are not drugs.
That's all right.
That's my favorite kind of legal.
Good. She flips. So, if you're going to the coast, I hope you guys don't mind getting a little wet. If you go below the waves, there is a type of oyster. The shell is pink in coloration. I want those. They are really referred to as either God's blood or Freya's blood is what these oysters are usually referred to as.
Interesting.
As they are spattered across the ocean and not very common. Also,
below the cliffs of Freya.
She's like, hopefully that got through because I'm gonna skip over it. I will give you 10 gold an oyster.
And do they have to be delivered fresh?
No. But they have to be fully intact.
Whole shell.
Whole shell, goop and all.
Goop and all.
Goop and all, please. I will reiterate because I see now that if I don't and something happens, I don't get oysters. If you are cut by one of these, you could die.
Good to know.
Yeah. So you may want
good
gloves.
To know, yes.
Make very
Chainmail,
potent
maybe.
poisons.
I was wondering if they were more valued as a jewel or as a component.
Don't eat
in some
them.
kind.
I was personally wondering if you were starting to just open them for groups of people as some kind of social media thing.
I don't feel like that'll work. I don't understand.
Unshelling. What would you even call that?
There's just like a little, like you have just a little setup on the side of the road, and you're just like, you want to watch me open this clam? And they're like, I guess.
You could perhaps cast it over a selection of glass orbs. Call it a broadcast because it goes all of the ways.
It goes quite broadly. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If only I had free time and the people of town actually liked me, enjoyed my company.
The magic of the broadcast, they don't know it's you, you know?
It's just,
Yep.
Well, is there anything else I can help you with? Once again, there's no time limit on this. It's as long as you get them back to me when you have them. They do not need to be ripe. They will be ripe.
They'll be ripe in one way or another.
Either way.
We will endeavor to not have them
Spoil.
stink.
Whatever happens, I just want an intact shell.
Intact shell, meat and all. We can do that.
Perfect. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Have you heard anything publicly about the doings of the past couple of days?
Publicly? Not much. I don't go out too much. But you can almost feel it in the air, just a bit of a buzz.
There was one hell of a party last night.
I did hear about the party, though. That I did
fully
hear
around the
about.
block.
I heard about that, but I'd already walked home, and I was not going to do that again.
That's
That's
understandable.
valid.
Thank you. She takes like a handful of bread and just like kind of shoves it into her mouth, and she flips the page, and just her eyes light up. You know, honestly, I will continue to lower the discount. Just God, more discount, as much discount as you want. And she like lays the book down on the table, and you see a recipe for banana bread.
Is that the fabled banana bread recipe?
You know, you get in there once, you try the banana bread, they don't let you in ever again because of reasons. And then you can never have banana bread again.
How very rude.
It's
I'm
very
so
rude.
sad I'm not there.
Ah,
So maybe next time you come back, maybe we'll have some banana bread together.
I bet Saga would be overjoyed to share banana bread with you. She does love both of those things.
That's true. Maybe we will find a second thing in common at this banana bread party.
maybe
I
so.
hope.
Maybe so.
Well, thank you all very much. And she starts to she just picks up the first thing she can find that's flat and it's like a knife and she puts it in between the pages and closes the book. So it's just a knife bookmark and she sets it to the side. Well, see you soon.
Hopefully.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Stay safe.
Hopefully. Oh, and to you. Those oysters will kill you. I'm being very serious about this. One little cut, ouch, you could die.
Hate that.
Duly noted. We will be extremely careful with them. And
Do
I
you
suppose
have
there's
thick gauntlets or something for handling them?
I don't, but I'm sure you could find some.
I have some.
Oh, I've got
Aha.
that. Just
Oh,
punching
you know what?
it.
I hear Gorbjorn somewhere in the distance telling me he has some.
Well,
You know, it's just a vibe, you know. You can tell somewhere out there Gorbjorn's got heavy metal gauntlets.
well, he was wearing them around town. Yes, I honestly should have asked about them, but I didn't. Next time.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
I'm sure where he got those. He just had them one day.
well, spooky.
Pretty sure we explained that.
Yeah, they told you guys it was
Yeah.
the
Oh,
uproar.
okay.
They've been
Yeah.
kind of vaguely upfront about the uproar. They're just like, big spooky blue lady gives us gifts. We burn down temples. She looks to you all. Well, I would, low profile. You have a good day.
You as well.
Thank you.
So
And-
before we leave the shop, before we step out into the street, I'm going to try this armor, and I'm just going to look average. Going to try to make the armor appear as clothes. Just not rich, not poor, look respectable. That's
Sure.
yeah.
It's done. Very quickly you watch it just sort of as if the clothing is being made rapidly over your body. You can't feel it or anything, barely. Okay. You look like an average elf. Just an average dude in the town. You guys step out of the hidden ember off to the temple.
Sure.
To the temple.
Okay. Meanwhile, it just cuts to Saga and Gorbjorn trying not to sweat as they leave town. Counting. I'm gonna roll for Tordrick to see. You got a nat 20. There's no way in hell. No, he rolled a 9 again. He does not catch on every time you pull a goat out of the bag real fast. You're just like, what's that? And then you just pull a goat out, and he's just like, where?
Look over there.
Ah!
I feel like with my 18 stealth, I would be the one letting the goat out.
Yeah,
And
together,
Saga's-
Saga's a little bit of a distraction, and you're just boom, boom. It's Ptolemaeus rolled worse. They have no idea goat's here. They have no idea there's a goat here.
What about Hercules? Does
Hercules, he gets
does
a
Hercules-
+0. He rolled a nat 1. Hercules is biting. He's I'm an animal. And you all continue onwards. The rest of you arrive at the temple and can see the priest you met earlier, just yesterday, outside looking a bit disheveled and frantic as he talks to some guards. They are currently outside the temple talking.
I just want to verify that we heard through the grapevine that they'd been raided.
Is that what you guys are going with?
No, I
I
want to
believe
know.
it
Is that something that's been made public?
Go ahead and give me, anybody's welcome to do this, perception or investigation as you all make your way through town.
one or the other?
24.
Yeah. No, it's chill. Everybody's talking about this.
Okay.
everybody is talking about this. If you
Um,
rolled a 10 or higher, you know everybody's talking about it.
then Roshan will just say, I just want to go give the donation on behalf of Tordrick, and then we don't have to linger. And I'll move over to someone who looks like they might be accepting of donations. If the high priest is too busy, then somebody else.
Okay, you approach. The priest notices you, and he kind of like stops, and he like looks and then just like sad face, and he's just like, "Oh, and you had just arrived, and you were so excited when you saw the temple, and you stayed for the stories." And he looks visibly upset.
Oh.
Well, we heard what happened and just wanted to give a donation on behalf of us and our friend, a cleric of the Nine Sisters.
Oh, bless you. Most of the offerings were stolen, so this could be a start, a way to begin worship again.
Something to start with. And Roshan hands him 5 gold pieces, which is like a decent amount of gold pieces.
Yeah, he looks very thankful. Thank you. If you saw anything, I know you just got to town, so you may not have seen, but gosh, it was so terrible. The guards, they thought they saw Njord, but then the image faded, and then they saw people running away, and there was a woman. There was a woman who glue. There was a brightness about her, just a bright light shone out of her, and when the guard went to follow her, looking upon the light blinded him instantly.
Say she was blue?
She glue brightly.
Oh, I see.
I'm not saying that this is the truth, but perhaps your parishioners would love to hear that it was Njord who stepped down and took his offerings and it could be spun.
Yes.
Nothing else, it might prevent a panic.
Nana, did you go up as well?
I don't know. I had assumed I had done.
Sure, you can approach after Roshan.
Yes.
Fen is
looks-
nowhere near this place.
Yeah.
Fen's waiting around the corner.
That's
way
fair.
away.
That's fair.
I would truly, honestly, I wish and had hoped, even thought that was what had happened. But he kind of like tries to like motion you towards the door.
I'll follow. I'm interested.
I mean,
invested.
Nana's kind of morbidly curious and kind of like trails along behind Roshan, like.
He's like,
eh.
I cannot tell them this was the work of their god and you look inside and it is a beacon on the floor in brilliant blue ice that looks like it has no intention of melting anytime soon. Is this symbol?
How about that?
Oh boy.
We believe this is some sort of cult of the Jotun, so we assume there are giants and half giants possibly in town, which we are looking for.
Oh dear.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for something large then.
Be safe. Followers of the Jotun are it is a dangerous practice.
I understand. Thank you for the warning.
Of course. Send my regards to the cleric. We'll have to make do without the goat. And he just sort of like nods.
Perhaps it may not be equal, but perhaps an effigy in the likeness of that very fine goat might make do for the time being, at least.
Or perhaps a burning of the statue on top of the ice could clear the area of that ice.
Well, the goat was going to be used for an event this afternoon.
Oh.
So we have to move on to different means for this demonstration.
I understand. Well, best of luck.
Thank you very kindly. I shall go set this at his feet.
I'll get out 2 more gold pieces.
You just slowly keep putting more gold in his hand.
I feel real bad about this.
Nana
Alright.
would be giving gold pieces, but I think she's only got a few copper right now.
Just like, I have nothing. Well, thank you all.
Gorbjorn's the party bank. Nana's got nothing.
Gone. But he nods and goes back over to the guard. Have yourselves a very blessed evening. And
You
goes
as
over to
well.
continue talking. You all
Alright.
reconvene.
We've never seen that symbol before, have we?
No.
Okay.
Roshan, I would let you roll religion or history. It is going to be a very high DC.
I got a 15.
Does not ring a bell.
Well, to
it'll
the
be
square
a long
then.
shot. Could I try?
Nope.
No, never mind then. Yeah.
It is just, unless you are proficient in either of those.
I don't think so. Doubtful.
But
No.
either way, the image means not much to you, and all you have to go on is the priest's description that it is a Jotnar.
And, the story that Saga and Gorbjorn told us about the big giant lady who was asking them to fuck with temples.
Yeah, but you guys quietly just are like, there's nothing to talk about here, boys. And you
You'll give each other that side glare of like, Gorbjorn, like.
this guy. Fenn's just like, I didn't get to see the sad priest, so. But
Fen, what was up with the giant ice sigil? I would have thought you wouldn't have left something so large and so obvious behind.
Giant ice sigil? What are you talking about?
There was a gigantic sigil in ice on the floor.
Perhaps we should speak about this later when we are
people
outside
walking
of
by
town.
and they're like,
All right, yes, fine. Yes, you're right. Later is
Either way,
better.
I don't think Fen was the instigator.
Fenn's like,
No,
I just
that
wanted to hang out
certainly
with my
doesn't
friends
seem-
and steal a
If there
goat.
If there was a giant sigil, I'm sure Gorbjorn would have taken it.
That's legitimate.
Actually, that's
Just
very
dragging
very
a
true.
sigil out of the temple.
Like just dragging the cinder blocks that the sigil is on.
You ever stole a whole temple before? You know, like Shakespeare style, where you just, when the guy goes out of town, you just take his whole, his whole theater and just build it where you want it, and then
Yeah.
it's yours. Easy. And then you'd have a temple. But
Goals.
Corbjorn's like, write that fucking down.
I signed you up for that heist too.
Oh boy.
You all quietly, a couple of you, a bit of sweat on the back of the neck, make your way towards the center of town. You see that people have started to gather. It's a bit early, but people have started to gather, and there's already over 200 people present. And you can see more approaching from different places, trying to get a good spot. In the center of town, it's sort of like a divot. It is sort of like it leans in a bit, and in the center of this like ditch, it's just very big ditch, is a wooden platform that on each corner has a wooden carving of Njord, who waits stoically, beard, eyes forward, the symbol of the ship across his chest, and very detailed feet. But people have gathered and they are murmuring and talking, and you can see stationed next to the next to this platform and on corners around the area are Jarlsmen and guards. All are present currently, which you can either assume, you can probably assume this is a sanctioned event, that this is not just a pop-up, but heavily guarded so that there is no shenanigans. You all
Shenaniganery?
I can't.
Mhm.
Shenanigan. You all approach, and as you walk towards the crowd, kind of taking people in, right at the back, you see a armored, blonde-haired woman, hair tied tightly back, standing next to another woman who is hooded, and you can see the blonde woman, hands resting on the hilts of 2 swords. You are looking at Sunny and Alvilda as they stand at the back of the crowd, looking towards the stage and softly talking back and forth. Meanwhile, you guys make it out of town. It is the easiest stealth mission. People are on such high alert that you're almost too obvious to pick. It can't be the person with the unicorn and the weird rat and the big machine behind the cart that I do not understand. There's no way they would put their necks on the line and then just casually walk out like that. You guys make your way through town. A lot of people seem to be talking about what is going to be happening with the guard, making their way that way. And you all safely exit town. Podrick kind of looks back, looks a little solemn in the face. Right. Let's find a river.
Yeah.
Okay. Pepping himself back up. All of you start to make your way down the road. Is there anything you'd like to do, or is it just, are you going to let this goat out of this bag at any time?
I would like to go over to Bjorn and do some whispering. Hopefully not seen or heard by anybody.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Bjorn. So I want to put. Do you think you could sneak into the forest and put the goat like out in the forest, and then we'll like come across it and be like, oh wow, look, a goat, and then it can be our goat, and then it's not weird.
So I sneak off, and then we have to stop at river first, right?
Well, you could put the goat at the river. It could be drinking at the river, and then it could be like a sign from Turgid. Oh wait, what if he gives it to the temple? You wouldn't do that, right?
He would, I think.
Uh-oh. You think we need to get farther away before we reveal the goat?
Just one more day.
Do you think the goat will be okay?
Maybe we should think about letting goat go.
You can't kill it.
No, let it be goat and wild.
I don't know that much, but I feel like the wolves would eat it very fast.
Yeah.
Yes,
Or
that
Jack
was
is like
the plan.
standing on the cart and like looking from side to side to see if he has like any notion of a river.
I gotta look out for my wolf bros.
Well, I guess that's the natural way of maybe we could walk around and find like a stray farm and leave it there as like a
Yeah.
gift to the farmer.
That's better than leaving it first.
Okay. We'll see if we can walk until we find a farm, and if we don't find a farm within like a day or so, then figure it out. But in other news, I might when we're praying here, I might say hello to the uproar just to let her know what happened.
Okay. Tell her I say hi, and I think about her sometimes
Okay.
before going to bed. Yeah.
Well, you could probably pray too. Actually, Torjik would love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd never. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we could all do it. He'll be so happy. Torjik!
Oh, yeah,
I think we're all gonna pray today.
that's great. That's really great.
Poor Tordrick.
Looks at Gordyorn like, so who are you praying to?
Giant ladies.
Like he knows it's like uproar, but like
Oh,
he's trying to remember her original name, and he's just like big blue lady. And he's just like uproar.
And he nods. Okay. Puts a hand on your shoulder.
Does he know who this is? Wait, he was around when we were.
He was around. He knows
Yeah.
who the uproar
He's got
is.
his book of
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
There's a bit of concern on his face, but he'll be there. So
He's got the spirit.
he's like, okay. It's good to see you investing in prayer. That's nice. That's healthy. He feels good about that part.
Are you praying, son?
So you guys are going to be on the lookout for a farm. I'd love perception checks from both of you or one of you with advantage.
You could go with advantage.
Okay. All right,
I'm
let's
just
see if I
rolling
can
20s
see.
all day, so.
Yeah, no, let's see if I roll well this
Oh,
time.
now's the
Okay,
time.
Now is the time. I need to do good on this. Okay, we're good. It's a 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say about, I'm going to roll this dice. About 3 hours into your trek, you can see cultivated farmland and a little farmhouse.
I'm going to. So we're just leaving it at this farm, right?
Yeah, like we could maybe like knock on the door and run away. Leave the.
Oh, I'm just going to like run over as I'm like jumping off, going like, gotta poop, and then and I'll run over to the fence and do like a quick kind of like yeet out the bag with the goat and just have it like fall over the fence, and then see if it's okay, and then just be like, okay, and then run back.
This goat flies out,
alarm.
and lands and rolls just like straight legged over onto its side and then kind of back to the center again. And it's like it's trying to move its legs and like get back up to its feet and Tordrick's like, the goat okay?
It's staring at me.
Yeah.
Oh, don't look him in the eyes. Don't look him in the eyes.
That's just pooping noises.
You should talk to a doctor. I know that's probably not your thing, but I think you should talk to a doctor.
I thought you were my doctor.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
that's true.
Oh God. Yeah, we might have to talk more in detail about that later. Just to
What do
make
you
sure
think I
everything's
started
okay.
praying?
We'll talk about that in more detail later. But just to make sure you're okay.
Please no, all the poop talk is for the Wednesday show. Please
Oh.
not this one too.
All right,
Oh,
and I
no.
get back on the cart.
Poop talk is everyday talk.
Tordrick like looks at you just now, slightly more concerned about your like health. But Ptolemaeus
And not just your HP.
is going to. No, I can't roll higher than a 9 for you guys being investigated for this goat. He's just like, he seems like genuinely like I should have been paying attention that way. I was looking that way. Something happened, but can't figure it out either.
Hercules probably like almost fell out of the cart and Tall was trying to like help him back.
Oh,
in or
Hercules keeps
something.
like standing up and trying to walk, and he's like, "Stop it!"
Oh,
But
you're going to fall over. Stop it.
leaving the goat behind for hopefully its happy and natural new life.
Ah!
You all make your way forwards until you hear about 30-ish minutes later a soft gasp from Tordrecht as he points off, and you can see glistening in the morning sun a beautiful stream. And he jumps off of the cart. Come on. And he just makes a full sprint in that direction. And
We'll
with
take the
that,
cart
we are going
off the
to
road.
take our break as the cart makes its way following him. I'll thank you all for watching. We're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be right back. We'll pray to some gods, and we'll find out about this guard individual. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys in 10 minutes.
Thank you, 10.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 77 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 10-minute break. The party has split because honestly, all of them are wanted. Literally, like everybody in the party kind of did something illegal or actively knew about it and participated. Nobody is kind of safe.
Ptolemaeus is good.
technically.
But Ptolemaeus has done nothing wrong.
Ptolemaeus has done nothing wrong, and neither has
The treasure.
Hercules.
We
They
don't
are
know what
both-
Hercules has done. Cannot speak for Hercules. But that's okay.
What does he know?
Half of the party is currently waiting to get to see this presentation, who this guard is. And the other half has currently arrived at the edge of a beautiful spring. Just a thin river that is, you can tell that it still has a little bit of life left in it at this point. You can tell that just the water is strong enough to kind of break through, but you can see there is a thin layer of ice that is forming on top and trying to harden in place. And occasionally, like, part of it will snap off and just start to continue downstream. But eventually this section is going to have a bit of a trouble. But Tordrek is elated nonetheless as he runs over to it and drops to his knees next to it. What are you guys doing?
Let's see. A new day, which means I have all of my spells, so I can waste them all on this.
Hell yeah. That's the whole point of this, baby.
My favorite thing. All right. I think I know what I'm gonna do, but do you want to do something first, Scorpion?
No, I'm new to this praying thing.
Yeah.
Got it.
Ptolemaeus is sitting off to the side and his eyes are mostly focused on Tordrek. He seems enamored.
I'm gonna stand a little further away from Tordrek, just be like, since I'm praying to, well, you know, a different god. Oh, she's gone.
Oh no, everyone's
Oh, she's back.
There she is.
hi. You're gonna stand a little bit away from Tordrek, and that's when the world broke.
Yeah, okay. I'm standing a little bit away from Tordrek because you know, I'm praying to a different goddess, so you know, wouldn't want to get them get the
You don't want
up
to
or anything.
kind of sit in front of you, and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just stand down here, no worries, Tordrek. But you know, we'll be praying together from far apart. You know, everyone's used to doing things like that.
If you're not 6 feet away from me, I don't even want to pray.
Exactly.
So you move downstream a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
What does Saga do to pray?
Well, not sure if I want to use my staff or my own abilities. I think,
The world's your oyster.
yeah, there's plenty of time going on today. I think we can do this. I think I'll cast, I think I'm gonna, charges. Okay, then, I'll take my staff and I'll just be like, oh, you know, like, look like I'm totally gonna just cast fog cloud or whatever. But actually I'm gonna cast ice storm again.
Beautiful. Love to see it.
Yes. I'm gonna, like, first I'll kind of reach down, instead of casting, I won't cast it immediately. First I'll reach down and put my hands on the top of the water, and I'm gonna cast chill touch and freeze like a section of the water. Then I'm gonna step onto it.
So
And then I'll-
chill touch is necrotic, correct?
I think it is. It's okay. It sounds like it would be. I
I'm
right when you said it, I was like, no, that's
weirdly named.
necrotic.
It's a weird one. Sadly, cannot let you freeze the water with
Well,
the
it'll-
necrotic energy that goes through it.
It'll freeze from the ice storm that I cast.
That's very true. Ice storm will probably give you something to work with.
Yeah. Pretend I didn't say that first part. Oh, the
Of course.
second part.
We've all forgotten.
Thank you. Just
ahead.
the ice storm, then.
Yeah, this ice storm begins to rage, and you see that Tordrecht doesn't even seem to notice it. He is staring deeply into the water, and his focus does not lift for a moment. Ptolemaeus is like, and he's like, okay, just making weather right above you. Okay. And goes back to kind of just going between the two of you visually. You were able to get into the center of this just based on the amount of hail that falls to the ground. And you are able to get to like a central rock, which can support your weight.
Okay. Yeah, because it is a cylinder. So I'll get into the center of the cylinder. Like I'm back in that weird like cavern thing that she showed us.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm just checking in, Uproar. Me and Gorbjorn went out and did a few things. I remember you had asked us about some of that stuff. And, since we talked last, some things have happened. Some strange things, with my lady. And I'm a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie. I was wondering if, we could talk again, and maybe you could clarify a little bit about what you wanted me to do in the future, just so I can consider my options fully. As I'm a little bit worried about what my future has, what future is ready for me with Kitty Satyr.
Okay.
Yeah.
You speak to this storm that you have created around you. Gorbjorn, I'd love to know just like where you are in space in regards to this.
Knowing that Saga is probably going to be praying to Uproar, because we both robbed the temple knowing.
Yeah.
If there's like any like frozen like area around her that I can pick up and like hold in my hands as I like do the praying motion that Tordrick's doing.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's 20-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder. So just so you
right
get an
here.
idea. Yeah.
I'm
Easy
just
and-
saying like I'd like just break off a chunk and just hold ice in
Yeah.
my hand.
You
It's
take
difficult
ice
to
into your hand and it's just that instant burning sensation, but you're like,
Well, I got gloves on. I'm not.
that's true. You're just like, ooh,
It's just cold.
tight. And you hold on to this ice, and are you going to like you're stepping like into the storm, yes? Or are you gonna stay on the edge?
I thought it was like a cylinder, but if I guess I'll go.
No,
with
you
storm.
can join. It's just like it's a hailstorm, so you can move through it. You would just technically take damage, but
Yeah,
it's up to you whether
I'm kind of saying that if you like this, you can have a harmless version of this and a will bludgeon anybody who walks into it version of it. So
Yeah.
it depends on which one you're doing.
Well, I'm resistant to cold, so it doesn't bother me as much. In general,
I think I would stay out of the
He's
blizzard.
like,
Just be
I'll
like,
be right here.
yeah.
but I can have a harmless one. If you want to join me in the ice circle, that would be wonderful. But it's up to you.
I'll roll for it. I rolled a 16. Sure, I'll join in.
Yeah. Holding a chunk of ice. Gorbjorn steps in, and it's not like it does not hurt some. It is a hailstorm. That is, but you are not being, bludgeoned to death in combat sort of hailstorm.
Mm-hmm.
You stand in here. You say your piece, Saga.
Saga does a little happy squeak when
Both of you stand in the storm. The sound of the water and the world around you is muffled by the sound of hail slamming into rocks and water and wind rushing around. The sun is blocked out by the cloud above you. And you see just like a splash larger than the ones of the hail in front of you. And then one next to it, 2 splashes. And then as if growing up from the water, you watch as the form of the Uproar begins to manifest in front of you, pulling water and ice up with it to form its body. Currently, like half of her face is just like icicles that move upwards, and you can see just like the implication of the left side of her face. And her body is not as corporeal as it was during that first meeting, but she stands there before you with such a loving look on her face, and instantly again is touching your cheeks and moving your hair out of your face. And just her hands are cold, but once again, not too bad for you. And she just like places a hand on your cheek and just admires you deeply. And she looks over at Gorbjorn, and it is still that same amount of love as she looks between the two of you. You have done such a good job. Amazing. So talented. And she like brushes your hair back. Powerful. Incredibly powerful. And you watch as just like the mouth is just like full of water, but it does not hinder the speech. You speak of confusion. It is hard to think of your future when you do not know what your past was. That seems so difficult. And just her hands do not leave you. And they move to your shoulders, and she holds you and just looks at you and just. She was so beautiful once. Before all of this, before the wars and the rotting of the world. Beautiful. She has not handled it well. But I have. I have not put my stock in the meddlings of gods and men. And it broke her. It's very sad. I can keep you strong. I can give you this strength that she has, and all I ask is that you continue down this path. They will never forget us. Those priests and worshipers will never forget this moment. And there was no violence, no hurt. And you benefited. And she glances over at Gorbjorn. You keep your spoils. All I request is that you remind these gods and these worshipers that I am not gone, that I am not dead. Because here I stand before you. Their gods are dead. Not mine, not me. If you wish to pick this future, I cannot rival the lady. She will not let me help you as long as she is tethered. I will give you the same gifts that she did, maybe better. And I will give you what you have lost. You will remember every single thing you have forgotten, and I will make sure you find it. All you have to do is tell the people of me in the most beautiful way possible, in the physical, the tangible, a memory that they cannot lose. And you must denounce her. You must separate yourself fully from the lady. and I will support you. I understand if you need time. I understand. And she's like manipulating your head, and she's like tilting it to cradle it. And she's just, the smile comes back. And she glances at Gorbjorn. You are welcome to do these in my name as well. I enjoy the way you work. Efficient. Chaotic. Beautiful. And you may keep all of your spoils. I want for none of it. What say you, Saga?
Can I do an insight check on her?
Sure. You're like, squint.
Like, oh, natural
Right.
20.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Total, I think it's just 20, but
I think Saga's too messed up right now to do that, but that's,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
I wish you were here in person so I could just talk to you casually, but I think it's okay. I think these things are kind of pretty on the nose, perhaps. You don't think she is lying. You do not think these offers are false. You think that she will love and support Saga if she is chosen. You think the things she has said about Lady Satyr do not sound false from her point of view. You think there is some withheld motivation. You can just almost hear the cutoff in your mind of where it would be like, when you heard her say chaos, you could see the emotion in it. That is a big motivator here. Is there anything in particular you are looking for besides that?
Just mostly how handsy she is over Saga, and then over me, it's like, yeah, you're fine. And it's like, what?
You are you like moving in closer? Are you like right next to Saga?
I would just be like 5 feet away, like just arm's length distance from her. But I'm more just wondering, like, is she desiring Saga more than like as a minion, more as like a sacrifice kind of thing like that?
You don't think it's sacrifice related. You don't think it's
Gotcha.
that. She seems very invested in Saga. You think, kind of like looking at it, you almost think back to Ave and how Ave would handle people differently, that people needed different things. It makes you think of Ave trying to comfort two different people. It seems it's not that she's favoring Saga. You think she thinks Saga needs this.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
She is doing what she thinks she probably needs to do for Saga in this moment.
Yeah, because she's already won me over. No need to swallow.
Yeah, you're like, I'm in. I'm in, baby. But she brings her focus to Saga. There is no rush, of course.
I just wanted to like put a hand on Saga's shoulder for support.
Yeah, you feel Gorbjorn reach over and squeeze your shoulder.
He just looks over to Gorbjorn with like a thank you eyes. Then looks back to the uproar. Thank you. What you said is, I'll think on it. Would I be able to ask you a question or two?
Anything. I will do my best to answer.
First thing, I have a friend that we met a little while ago, and I think you know him probably. His name is Broggy. I like him a lot. I don't want to not be friends with him anymore. And I know everything that you've said about the gods. You said not to let them forget. I can remind him that you're around. I can do that. I just don't want. Can I still talk to him?
She smiles and like she places her hand on top of Gorbjorn's hand on your shoulder and then keeps the other one continuing to move the hair back and like brush it away from your front. And she smiles. Broggy. Broggy is a god of peace talks. He is not a god of war. He did not fight in it, did his best to avoid it. We have never shared words. And from what I know, there are not many temples in his name actively. I would not ask you to forget a friend. I wouldn't ask you to forget anything. Never. Is there another question?
Oh. Oh. Okay. Do I felt a feeling. Lady Satyr showed me one thing, from my past, and I really want to pursue it. Would I be allowed to? I could still do the things. Am I on a? With Lady Satyr, I had to follow the prophecy. It was a set way of doing things. Is it just? Could I follow?
You have only ever been led. That is tragic. I would not show you a future. I have no interest in prophecy. I have interest in seeing my works done and my name remembered, of course. But that sensation. I would be hurt if you didn't pursue it.
And you'll be there. You'll be with me while I go, right? You won't leave. I can talk to you.
As long as there is room for me, I will be there.
Oh, yes, of course. It's very lonely when you walk all on your own like that. Sometimes Lady Satyr wouldn't answer me for a very, very long time, and I was just lost. Well, she told me where to go, but
Well, I care about you, both of you. There's a deep bond. How could I abandon that?
I have one last question.
Of course.
Well, it's kind of two questions. I'm not sure.
You can see the form struggle in a couple places, but then like reform. But she looks at you eager.
Lady Satyr, she's very, very powerful. I think she might be very, very mad. I'm a little worried. And I mean, she was nice to me. She was very nice to me. I don't want to hurt her at all. I don't want her to hurt me. I don't know if she would, but
Is anger. And she is sorrow, and that is not because of you, and it will not be affected by you. Will that be turned upon you? Perhaps. But you will not stand against that alone. She will inevitably take what she wants. I think we can look for something for all of us.
okay. Okay. Thank you. I'm gonna think about it, everything you said. And I'll let you know. In the next couple days, I think. I can't think on this too long.
All right. She smiles. Whatever you pick. As she leans forward and she kisses you on the forehead. I believe in your judgment. The amazing things you will see. And she turns and she leans over to Gorbjorn, and it's a bit more of a smirk, but she cups your cheek and kisses your forehead as well.
I feel like a good boy.
I am validated. She smiles. It's going to be a difficult time, but we'll get through this together. And you watch as just like the face kind of falls in on itself and the water and ice splash back down. And you can see the world around you again and can see Tordrick is no longer on the side of the shore. He is in the water, like face down in the water. And Ptolemaeus is like standing up is like, you see him in the process of like getting up and he's like moved over to the side, but Tordrick is currently just face down in this ice cold water.
He's probably okay.
He's fine.
And that's how Jillian kills her first player.
I'll
Hell yeah.
give the swim. I'll swim near and see if he reacts.
Yeah. Are you gonna give him a tap?
Yeah.
He's taken all of his armor off, right? He's just in the
Yeah, his
Tordrick praying suit.
He wouldn't be floating. If
He's fully naked. You go over and like kind of like tap him, like, and he just comes up from the water, gasping for air, and he's like, just eyes bright. I know what I have to do. And just an excited look on his face as he like climbs out of the water and he starts like, and you both can see as he gets out, it almost looks like as the water kind of like falls away, it almost looked like there was like a woman of water like hugging him around the shoulders from behind. And as he like leaves the water, it kind of falls away from him, rejoining the water. And he's pretty damn dry when he gets back out. Very excitedly pulling clothes back on. We're going the right way. And just is very hyped now. Everybody in the group, pretty hyped. Meanwhile, the rest of the party in the square. What would you guys like to do? You can see some people you've met.
Yeah, I would like to keep an eye out for Garth or Solvi.
You are welcome to roll perception if you'd like to.
Bastard 20.
Ooh.
Okay.
While Roshan's doing that, Nana would like to approach the two that we met previously on the trail.
Yeah,
which
you approach.
two did you say this was?
This is Sunny and Alvilda. Sunny was the only one who had hair, blonde hair tied in a tight ponytail, 2 swords, beautiful ornate swords at the sides. And Alvilda was the elf who had stabbed that creation into the side of that corrupted monster's head, saying that it possibly could make it not spread as fast. But it seemed more spiritual in sense. As you approach,
So Fen will go with Nana.
Yeah.
Good. But while all of this, whatever's coming is going on, Fen is paying less attention to the goings on and more attention to like, is anyone watching us specifically? Like, there's a focal back to, again, we rode into town on a unicorn. We were recognized before we got there. Fen's looking for people looking at us. That's
Roll perception and then roll insight. So go ahead and do that. Sunny turns before you get to her. Hello there. She looks at you for a moment, Nana. Good to see you.
And you. Thank you.
Of course. Nana, I'd love you to roll insight on that.
Yeah.
I love insight right now,
I'm-
honestly.
Yeah,
Usually
I'm
I wait.
wondering.
I'd love to see it.
I'm wondering.
15,
Okay.
15 perception for Fen and only a 6 on insight.
Okay, I will get to you in a moment.
Alas. Okay, well, not the worst. My insight gives me a 17.
Okay. There was a split second. She seemed shocked to see you.
Huh.
Half a second, a moment of shock, and then that dissipates very quickly. Did you come to see the event?
Yes, we did.
Pretty exciting. Big,
what
bold
I've heard.
claims.
What have you heard about this god, anyway? Like, I know that he's supposed to have something that allows him to push back the corruption, but have you heard anything more specific?
Not exactly. I think this is a bit of a push to get it more seen instead of hearsay.
Well, it certainly seems like a sponsored event, if nothing else. The guards
Oh yeah, there's a shit ton of guards about.
and Yarlsmen.
Yes, this of the board.
Mm-hmm.
Roshan, you're looking around. Who were you looking for exactly? Solvi and Garth.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And what you got? Dirty 20?
Yep.
No Solvi. You do see Garth though.
Haha.
I will go deliver a pair of gloves. Say, my friend Saga said you had very cold hands and made these for you.
Oh, is she here?
She's left town already.
Oh, and he starts to put the gloves on. Could you, if you see her, say thanks?
Absolutely.
And he nods. You can see he's with like a group of people, like some youths in his age range, you know.
The whole group.
Came to see the cool event.
Oh no.
I'll take out a cigarette and start smoking to impress the youths.
No!
They're like, that old guy's cool.
He's cool, man.
Um,
I'm just kidding. No cigarette.
could you tell me your numbers again?
Gotta be a
if you recall?
pipe.
It was high perception, low insight.
Ben?
Kyle.
Hello?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
What was the question?
It was your numbers. It was high perception, low insight.
Perception was a 15 and insight was a 6. So yes.
Okay. You look around. Doesn't look like you check the guards first. None of them seem to dwell on you. Occasionally, like an eye glances over, but they just keep going. You do see looking in your direction, though, kind of in different parts of the crowd. You see Gunhild and you see Ing and you see Tate. They're not standing together, but you see them in different spots throughout the crowd. And they've like looked back more towards Sunny, and they just seem to be kind of watching.
Okay. But we're standing right next to Sunny. Nana and I are standing right next to Sunny. And what was the elven woman's name?
Alvilda.
Alvilda. That's correct.
Mm-hmm. The elf.
Yeah. All right. So I'm not especially intimidated by them looking at us. Yeah. Okay.
So, where's the rest of you? She looks over at Roshan and kind of gives a bit of a wave.
They've gone on ahead a pace. Our holy folk wanted a moment in the quiet of the woods to pray.
Huh.
So they're
That's
taking
interesting.
some time to themselves.
I personally feel like, I'm sure Alvilda feels similarly, that this will be quite the religious experience. That's at least what I'm picking up on.
We've got a lot of ground to cover, and they're quite slow, the rest of them. I think we can let them get their head start, and we'll catch up to them.
Rather
course.
easily, if I had to guess.
I can only assume south of the city's pretty good. We haven't been through that area in a hot minute, but you guys seem to be able to take care of yourselves, so hopefully nothing wanders about them.
Well, we're definitely hoping to meet up with them before sundown if we possibly can. I can't expect this demonstration to last all day.
That'd be a thing.
What can you tell us about this demonstration? What do you expect to see here?
I expect to see something rare. I can't say exactly what. Can only go off of what I've heard. Sounds like the beginning of a new age. That's how it sounds.
Have you heard anything like if it's an innate skill of his, or if it seems to be some, I don't know, wand or ring?
The stories
or
say he
something?
just holds his hand up.
Huh.
Hmm.
Just have to look pretty close, I guess.
Would be very tricky if he were, I guess, hiding something behind his hand. But I'll keep an eye out.
And
How are you
know.
feeling, by the way? Focuses on Nana. How are you feeling?
Significantly better. Honestly, we walked up, I thought you'd seen a ghost. Can't say I blame you.
I'm going to be very honest with you. Once off, we don't really know each other that well, and I personally did not want to tell you of what I considered to be a death sentence. And I thought it's better not knowing sometimes. I wouldn't want to know.
That's
But
fair.
you
That's
seem
fair.
well, and that's impressive.
Only by the grace of some very excellent healer help.
I'm happy for you.
Take quite a bit to keep her down. I've known her my whole life, at least the better part of it, and she's strong. None of this corruption or any of the other things that we face. You've seen what she can do.
Of course, you survived that raid, and that's pretty impressive on its own. So I shouldn't be shocked. So is it just curiosity, and her focus goes to Roshan. Why are you here?
Is Roshan over near them, or is he still off in the crowd?
You've already done your thing with Garth. If you've decided to keep your distance, then never mind. But
I think he would try to take a wide lap and just check faces and see if he can find anyone matching Solvy's description.
okay, so he'll keep. She will keep her conversation inwards then as you continue to search the crowd. So is it just a curiosity thing, or?
Well,
All the cool kids are doing it, and like looks over at a group of youths.
somewhat curiosity. Also, I don't know, we've only ever run across one single other person in a very broad space of the world we know who could affect the corruption in any meaningful way. And he was not what I would call a benevolent man.
Not good, that's for sure.
I don't know that that's the same person as this. I've heard so little concretely about him and his ability. I can't say if they're the same person.
Well, maybe this will enlighten you.
I'm hoping so. I hope my worst fears are wrong. I hope this is someone who is here to help us. I do.
If there's one thing I know, I think the guard is here to protect us. I believe that. And she kind of looks back towards the stage, and you can see there are currently at the stage 4 Jarlsmen and 8 town guard There's also more stationed kind of on the outskirts of the crowd. And she like looks over. I've heard it's going to be this guarded, if you will, because the chief is coming to watch.
Interesting. Who is the chief, do you know?
Shit. And she like ponders it for half a second. Chief. Shit. Alveol though looks over. It's Keld. Chief Keld. Right. Shit. They all sound the same to me. It's just kind of a bunch of old people at this point in time who are kind of in office. I've heard in the East, though, just a bunch of them dropped dead. So, fresh start.
It's been a little bit chaotic over there, I've got to say, but, you know.
In the east or in the west?
Yes.
In the West.
West! Over in the west, the mountainy areas. Where everybody's at. Heard everyone just sort of, kind of all died at the same time, but I guess that's what old people do.
Well, it wasn't all of them, but it was more than 2, which is alarming.
Well, hopefully it's not so, I guess, aggressive here. They already have a lot on their plate with the large amount of corruption that has recently meddled its way into the East. It's something. It's business. So I can't, honestly, it'd be hypocritical if I leaned one way or the other. I am currently benefiting from it, so.
How, if you don't mind my asking, how is it that you learned so quickly if this is such a new, corruption, such a new phenomenon?
Well, corruption in itself is not new. There's always been corruption everywhere.
But this exceptional increase in it, how did you learn so quickly to manage it in the way that you have?
Well, I just sort of treat it like any big thing I'm hunting, except I know that corruption needs to be dealt with very particularly. If you take it down like anything else, you have the time to burn it, you have the time to deal with it. So it's not that corruption is new. You're always told growing up. You know what it is, you know how to handle it. It's just that we haven't had to as much, I suppose. But you notice a big change when a large hulking creature of horns and tusk and fur rams through a cart in front of you, and you need to learn pretty quick.
It's true.
Yes, definitely. Hey, a quick question for DM.
Yes.
I'm sure Nana would remember. I do not. Did we tell this party here about the chicken bombs that we found along the road from the bridge leading into the east?
I am not positive. I cannot recall.
If we did not, I think Nana would feel remiss if she didn't make mention of it here. If only in broad strokes, like, not for nothing. Who knows how much this may help at this point. I don't know how endemic the corruption has got, what kind of foothold it's got. But on our way in from the Hammer, heading this way, east, we found divots dug in the side of the road with dead chickens buried in them. They had started to turn. They'd been planted there. I believe that it was intended to draw the corruption towards the east. It's my guess.
So you think some dead animals in a hole are the reason that it is so corrupted over here now?
Not the only reason, no. I don't think so. I can't say exactly why things are so big, but I do think that there are at least perhaps areas that are...
Not a guess. You guys said you were from the west. I've heard it's cleared up a bit.
somewhat recently.
Interesting. And then it got a lot shittier here recently.
I don't know, honestly. I cannot say. All I know is that there's a lot
Don't-
more to this than
Hey.
it appears, I think.
It's always going to be complicated.
Yeah.
It's fine. If you have no idea, not a lot of the people don't understand why this is happening. Actually, I don't know if anyone does, but that is all right. Once again, benefiting. And Alvilda clears her throat and Sunny looks over and you can see people starting to walk on to the platform in the center.
Did that sound accusatory?
You're welcome to roll insight.
All right. Well, I'll try that, but not my
I mean,
best.
I would also like to insight being the person who is, I think.
Yeah, I got a nat 1 on that. So
You don't know.
Well, I didn't get a nat 1. Well, I got a 15.
It didn't sound not accusatory.
Hmm.
You are a person from the West where everything recently got good. She is a person
Yeah.
from the East where everything just got bad. But her
Yeah.
focus aggressively turns from you and is to the stage where you watch as multiple hooded figures start to walk on. There are 6 of them, 6 people in black cloaks, kind of fan across the back of the stage. And this area is loud. There's a ton of people walking around. Hundreds. Nearing 1,000 people have showed up for this. There's people who cannot see. But because of the slight slope of the area, most people have an okay view if they're within this sort of range. You watch as these 6 hooded figures walk on stage. You can see from here that they are armored, and all of them have a weapon of sorts at their side. Nothing is drawn. It is not an aggressive stance, but they are armored and have weapons.
is
And
there
they
any evidence of the symbol that we've been seeing everywhere? That rune? Do we see that?
Roll investigation.
Can I help with that?
Sure.
I think Nana would also be on high alert for signs of bush.
Okay, so is that an advantage or
Yes.
if Nana helps? All right.
Advantage.
Best of those is 15.
Okay. You currently at the moment don't see that symbol.
Okay.
It is not present. Roshan, you can see that things are starting to happen. Are you going to stay separate?
Yeah.
Okay.
And kind of survey those 6 to see if any of them could be soul V-shaped.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you the shapes do vary from slender woman to large man. It is a gambit. It could be, but no faces are visible.
Okay.
Hands currently aren't even visible at this time because they're under the cloak. So it
Yeah,
is.
because we'd want to check those and see if everyone's got 2 of them.
You guys got 2 hands? Hands up.
Hand check.
Roshan, you kind of take a place in the crowd. You've gotten a bit closer because you guys started sort of in the back and then they eventually got crushed in more. But you're further towards the stage. And as these people walk on, takes a moment, but the crowd begins to quiet. And you watch as, led by even more guards, you watch an old man, finely dressed, make his way to the front of the crowd, near the front of the stage, and he stands to look. You can only assume this heavily guarded man is probably the Chief Keld. And he waits there silently as well. And there is a lull. And there's a moment of tension as everybody waits. You can see Sunny next to you, fingers on her lips as she looks forward. And it is just the subtle sound of creaking wood as another figure, hooded, simply dressed as the others, walks onto the stage. Armored, does not look like they are armed, and steps center. There's hushed murmurings. And this figure just sort of stands there for a moment, looking out to the crowd, just taking in this massive horde of people that are looking upon them. He clears his throat. People have named me the guard. You have blessed a name upon me. You have named me of the earth. You have named me home. I am grateful for your trust. Steps forward closer to the edge. Noansict is the first of many to put faith in me. And that faith cannot go unfounded. Let me show you what you put your faith in. You watch as two more hooded figures move up onto the stage, carrying a tightly wrapped body, fabric encapsulating it. You can tell that it is a humanoid body, and it is placed on the stage. This was going to be less personal. The creature that was going to stand there is gone. But I think this is the way it should be, to show you exactly what I am capable of and how we as a society can move forward and together with a newfound strength. And he looks over to the body, and you can see a lot of the people in the front have shifted backwards a bit. People are shifting a little. And Roshan, from your vantage point, you can first see that there is some movement to that thing wrapped. You can tell that it is either alive or corrupted. It is one of the two. But I need someone to show faith in me. I need someone to help, a volunteer, someone courageous who will join me. It is dead silence. People are looking at the body on stage, none of them very inclined to go up. You can see that Sunny has now shifted, and she is in the process of starting to raise her hand.
We still can't recognize this person.
You are
From our
welcome to
distance.
try. He is fully cloaked.
Should I start chanting Garth? Garth, Garth.
Garth is next to you. What?
Nana wants to raise her hand.
You see that Sunny is halfway through raising her hand, looks at you, and acquiesces. You are the only person in this crowd in view that raises their hand. A hand reaches out from the cloak towards you and beckons you forward. The crowd parts.
Fen is gonna have his bow. It's down. He's not gonna draw his bow, but he's gonna have his bow down at his side, and he has one of the fire arrows that he recently acquired ready to go. That's
You're lighting it?
nope. He just
Okay,
has
you
it.
have an
A bow arrow in the same hand as the bow, but it's one of the fire arrows, so I could
I'm gonna
light
see
it if I
a
needed to.
guard notices that. It's gonna be difficult, but you're having a weapon at the ready. The person who does notice is Alvilda and Sunny, who glance over at you. Seems aggressive. Alvilda
Hey.
looks to you.
This stranger asked us to have faith in him, and we don't know who he is. I don't have faith in him. I'm not going to let my friend walk up there and potentially into danger without watching out for her. I would hope you'd watch out for your friends as well.
She made the choice to step up there. She has faith. Why not show a little? And Nana, you walk forward. People look at you, some in awe, some in like, that was stupid. Like there's a mix of faces as you walk by, and he motions you to the stage. Do you get up there?
Sure do. And I'd like to know if there's anything I can see about him as I get up closer. Anything about his silhouette that can be seen through the cloak? Maybe a gap
Perception or
where an arm would
investigation,
be.
you can roll with advantage. You're right next to him.
Perception or investigation?
Yeah, whichever.
Sweet. Okay. I like those odds. Perception. 24.
The face is downcast. The body is hidden. There's one arm out, beckoning to you.
Mm-hmm.
The wind blows and you watch as it divots against the body. It goes straight against the flank. There is no arm to stop it. You believe you are standing right in front of Bosch, who tilts his head up and smiles to you. He looks to the crowd, and then he looks back to you, just still a full smile about his face. I am so flattered. He's speaking softly, so only you can hear. I am flattered you came to watch, let alone the courage to stand here.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
And he steps in close. Whatever it was that you did in the West, I almost feel like I should thank you for giving me a new start, of course. I'm a changed man. Now, let's put on a show, shall we?
Let's.
Perfect. He looks up and the crowd kind of moves back in again, interest now re-peaked. I promise you, and he's like looking to you and talking to you, but presenting it outwards. I can promise you that no harm will fall to you upon this stage. Not a scratch, not an itch, not a bruise. Could you show the people how safe you feel? Could you lower your weapons, please? Set them down on the stage, just to the side.
Nana will do so.
There's
Spears, sword, dagger.
You watch as one of the hooded figures moves towards the wrapped body and takes a small knife out and starts to cut at the fabric. Bosch is slowly making an arc around you. You know, what I had noticed, and he stops behind you. You all made me realize I was going about it the wrong way. I'd given nothing of my own, and that's why the earth had not given back. I should thank you for putting my flesh in the dirt. It is an honor. You can see now that it is no longer bound tightly, it is a large jerk from the creature there as it moves and tries to stand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Do not be afraid. There's no reason to fight, and I need you for just this moment to trust me fully. No harm will follow you on a stage of this magnitude.
Suspiciously specific, but I'll trust you that far.
Well, we're all meant for the dirt at one point or another. Even I. He has not moved from behind you. This is where he has taken up his stance in this. And you watch as this thing struggles against the fabrics, and it is a partially corrupted human. It looks like an old man who's sort of like pushed his way out, and you can see it looks pretty similar in age, corruption-wise, to the old woman you had seen, pretty new. Now, I think that it would be best if it comes this way, so why don't you gather its attention, clap, whistle, so it doesn't charge the audience?
Anna will begin a slow, purposeful, rhythmic stamp with one foot. Thump, 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 thump.
Its head snaps aggressively in your direction as it pulls itself, struggling to its feet. The feet like frozen and slick a bit with ice as it tries to get footing, and it is fully focused in on you. And you can feel Bosch's breath and his body heat behind you as he stands there calmly. I'm going to protect you today, he whispers softly in your ear. Roshan, you are watching. And then you feel a tight sensation in your chest. And you can hear the shadow wheeze next to you. And it's trying to form words and seems to be struggling. And it turns its focus to you, the shadow, like its form shimmering in different spots under the sun as it like tries to like focus in on you. It's here. Something's here. And there is a tinge of excitement in its voice. What we want, it's here. Where is it? Find it. It is not looking towards the stage.
Well, then Roshan will, as subtly as possible, cast Detect Magic and look in the direction that it is looking.
You cast Detect Magic. Nothing pops up currently, but you watch as the form of the shadow pushes past you, as it seems to be frantic as it searches for something, trying desperately to find this thing. And that need begins to well up in you. And it looks back. She's here. And it's just, you can just see a smile just form across the shadow's face as it tries to move backwards through the crowd. It able to do so easily.
Roshan will follow. He's sorry, Nana. Hope you live.
Hope you live. Roshan, you begin to push through. Go ahead and just give me strength real fast.
Oh yeah, he's really good at that.
Yeah.
But he rolled a 17 minus 1, 16.
You were able to push through easily enough. It's not easy, but you are not hindered as you move the opposite way of the stage. The shadow leading you forward, frantic as it just turns its head, and it's like, and you hear it mumbling, I can't see, as it continues to move forward. Nana, this corrupted thing has locked eyes with you, struggles to its feet, and it charges directly at you. Do you do anything?
Nana will continue to beat with the one foot. She wants to keep its attention on her. No audience members need get injured.
It bolts towards you, moving quickly, no longer a frail old man, more of a monster. Bulldozes forward. And it just seems so close, and it gets within like smelling distance. You can smell the decay as you watch an arm reach over your shoulder, and it stops dead. The corrupted being, only an arm's width away from you, stops at the behest of Bosch and stands there. The crowd fucking loses it. It is not like, yay, it's partially horror, partially astoundment. It is a mix of emotions for people who have never seen such a thing in their lives. And he stands there with you for a moment. You, Bosch, and this corrupted creature. What did you do? How? Something so powerful. How did you? How have you hindered the earth?
I'm very stubborn. We Hemmings, we all are.
Then I will thank the corpse. And just like closes his hand very slowly, and you watch as the body falls in on itself. It does not fall apart, but you watch as it's just its knees buckle and it sits back and it lays down unmoving, mouth agape. And you watch as like the ichor starts to form in its mouth. And he looks back to the audience after giving your shoulder a very firm, encouraging squeeze. You have now seen what I am capable of on small scale. Protection. I am honored to be trusted so heavily by Nana Hemming's daughter. Please. And he motions for you to return to the crowd.
Nana gives him a nod and will return to the crowd.
Yep, you gather up your things and make your way back. And you watch as somebody from the hooded group runs forward holding a terracotta container. And he places a hand over the mouth of the corpse, and you watch as black ichor follows his hand upwards and deposits it into this container. This man could be burned. He also could be returned to the dirt. He would not change. He could be buried as people were so long ago. He looks now to the chief. Chief Keld, is this adequate? This demonstration? Could we gain private audience? How we can grow as a community to fight the corruption and still honor the earth as she is meant to be honored? All eyes turn to the old guy at the front. And this very old man looking forward. And after a moment, gives a nod. And there are people who sound very excited that there is a chance of dealing with the corruption. We are looking at corruption the wrong way. It is because of the life we have chosen, the disdain we have shown for the earth. We are adding to the corruption with our hatred and our fear. The things it could be, and he takes the terracotta jar. The things that corruption is meant to be is just the earth. And he steps to the edge of the stage. It is meant to be beautiful. And he drops it and it slams down onto the ground, shattering. And the people who are close by back up very quickly. And there is a soft rumble. And then you watch from this spot a tree sprout from the ground in the middle, right in front of this stage. A beautiful twisted white tree And on top, deep purple leaves. This is what it could be. And he disappears fully behind the tree as it grows taller and taller, gets about 50 feet tall and begins to expand over the top. And Nana, if you're able to like angle yourself, Bosch is gone. From behind the tree has disappeared, and you watch as the people standing behind him move forward, gather up the remains, quickly wrap it, and then begin to leave. And the crowd is left in a state. As Roshan, you push quickly through this murmuring crowd, and you watch as the shadow reaches forward blindly. 1 second, Nana. It pushes forward, grasping at the air, and you're just like, and it's like, and it looks back at you. Can you see? Can you see it? And its voice is clear as a bell when it speaks to you.
He can't see anything, correct?
You cannot see anything as it continues to move forward. And then it stops and reaches a hand out. And when you get within range for your detect magic, there is an old woman who illuminates brightly. And the shadow reaches for her. And she's gone. Disappears as quickly as you found her in your periphery. You look to her, it's an old woman. And she is gone, draped in magic. And you hear just, it is a soft wail of anguish from the shadow, and you feel that well up in yourself as well. And the shadow turns back and looks at you, and you can see the shine of tears moving down its cheeks, golden tears as they catch the light in some spots. And its voice returns to the soft whisper. I'm so sorry. I couldn't reach it. And there's just a feeling of exasperation, but it was so close. What would you like to do, Roshan?
Are we beyond the crowd at this point?
You were still in the crowd. This person was in the crowd.
So Roshan had also started crying when she disappeared. And I think he just seeks to be out of the crowd at this point to get away from it, all of that.
You make your way forward, and it is just this feeling of anguish that follows you. Your anguish, the shadow's anguish, as both of you move forward. And it's just like, it's so close, and I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was.
He will trek away, hopefully not too far away. There's an alley he can duck in, and he'll cast silence and then speak with the shadow.
Okay.
He'll ask, well, where did she go?
You watch as it tries to push away this gold leaking from its eyes, and it just starts to like drape over its fingers. Farther away. It was here. Why couldn't I see? I'm so sorry. I just want to give this to you. I want to help you. And it pushes at and it smears it across its face. It's almost like paint as it just pushes and like aligns its face with these golden tears. I'm sorry, Roshan.
Roshan would like to reach out in the silence and try to lay hands on its face and wipe the tears away.
You reach up and touch the shadow's face. And the gold is transferred to your hands, and when you pull them away, you watch as they sort of kind of turn back to a bit of an ash and kind of float off of your fingers, and it looks at you. You deserve this, and I lost it.
We won't give up. We'll find her.
And it seems to refocus itself. We have to push on, yes. Yes. Forwards. And it looks south. Still south. Why would it run?
Was that a missing part of yourself? Was that my sister?
It was important. I know that. It was important. We have to keep growing. Maybe we are too weak. We will get better.
What can I do?
Be good enough. We will do amazing things, good things you were meant to do. You were meant to bring so much pride. I know this. I feel this. It is inevitable.
What can I do to get stronger, to find her again?
It ran. So we are not ready. It wouldn't have run, right?
I don't know.
I see you. I see you as something good, strong. I want to be good and strong. I want to be good. I want to help. I know this. I feel this. And you see it's starting to get like worked up again as you watch its body like shimmer and like struggle to just stay like together. We can do this. We can help. And it just looking dead at you.
Is it using the we pronoun for itself or us two?
You two.
Okay.
You think it's inclusive.
Okay.
The royal we.
Is it a royal we? Are there several shadows here now?
Just a bunch of shadows. Like, yeah, man, what's up?
Roshan will wrap his arms around the shadow and give it a hug.
The shadow does not hesitate. And you can feel arms wrap around you tightly. We push on. We grow. We won't fail again. I won't fail you.
And I won't fail you.
And your faces are close, and it just sort of falls into your body. And you are one again. Standing alone in a bubble of silence. Your other two companions back in the crowd, which has started to meander, and some people leaving quickly, some people staring in stunned silence at this beautiful tree.
Roshan's going to make his way back, try to look normal, casual.
I'm normal and good.
Like I didn't just break down crying in an alleyway by myself, kind of.
I wasn't sad in an alley. You were sad in an alley.
So
And
I'm guessing he was absent for the entirety of Nana's Vietnam flashback.
Yeah, basically. He
Yeah.
was there,
Awesome.
but not looking at it at all.
yep,
Cool.
looking actively in the opposite direction.
But
Yep.
Nana, you have stepped off the stage. This tree has grown. Bosch is gone from sight.
Is there any trace of where his assistants went? What direction they left?
They're still actively moving and have sort of merged groups with the chief. They are actively going together.
Okay.
A lot of the guards sort of moving in to be part of this now.
Well, we are definitely not invited to that party, and I don't think it'll do us any good to invite ourselves.
Yeah.
All right, Fen.
Fen, you stood there, you saw the whole thing, and you hear a soft like sound, and you look to your side. Alvilda is actively weeping as she stares forward. You can see Sunny's eyes are misty as she stares forward, and she like places a hand on Alvilda's shoulder. A little faith. And Sunny puts her arm around Alvilda, and they start to go.
Wait. Stay here. Stay with us. Travel with us for a while.
Sunny stops and looks to you. I'm not going to do that. I think
I wasn't talking to you.
we're talking to Alvilda.
I was talking to Alvilda.
Sunny like puts a hand to her mouth. Alvilda looks to you. Why would I do that?
Because looking at you is the closest I've seen to home in a long time. And I was hoping to speak to you for just a bit more. You don't even have to leave town. Just...
She is actively head turning to look more towards the direction of the tree and where the group is going.
You can find your group again, right? You can find your group again if you stay and talk with me for a little bit.
Sunny lets go of Alvilda and takes a step back. Alvilda looks you in the eye. I'm going to go now.
All right.
I am not home. You'll have to find it elsewhere. And she turns.
I understand.
Sunny gives a nod to you and then follows as they walk past Nana, who has made her way a bit closer. Sunny looks at you with such wide eyes and just a smile, as you can see just like a hint of liquid at the corners where she may have just stopped herself from crying.
Nana at least has the good sense to see that and know that she can't not try. She tries to return the smile, but she's a little shaken. I don't think she has it in her to cover that completely.
She does not seem fully invested in it either. It seems a formality that you both try to give. And Alvida and Sunny disappear into the crowd. Eventually, the three of you pulled together again. You're able to get to an area that is not fully encompassed by people, if that's what you want. But the streets are alive with sound and people.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else we wanted to hit while we were here, but I think that anything else that we want to discuss is probably sensitive enough that Nana would want to direct us out of town before we get into discussions, if everybody else is agreeable to that.
Yeah, let's move.
Yep.
As you make your way away, you can see Alvilda has walked over to the tree, the last sort of glances of the crowd, and just has placed her forehead against it. and you move with the flow of the crowd until you get to an area where it thins.
I would like to double back and try again to talk to Alvilda.
Fen completely veers back from the group and starts heading back. Oh.
Just when I'm within a few feet of her. The waterfall. What do you know of the waterfall?
She turns to look at you. And she strokes a hand over the tree. Not even a moment.
You can have all the moments. I'll leave you after this. That's fine. Just a question.
Roll persuasion.
No, it's going to be a straight 4.
Mm. She looks at you.
Oh, Fen.
I left home because they didn't understand. They didn't understand that the forest was greater than us, greater than we'll ever be, and we wanted to hold it back. Disgusting. We inhabit this earth by sheer force of will, and we are not wanted here. It wants to grow into such beautiful things, and they send men with axes to cut it down. I just want peace. I want this. And she looks to the tree. The waterfall is a place for dead things, and a beautiful place at that. They always told stories. We'd stand at the edge of the wood, and we'd sing songs for the people that went in. They never come back out. Are they feeding her? Such a powerful entity, just reduced to beautiful trees, and I can only hope they're making her stronger and brighter. The waterfall is her place. And I can only imagine how beautiful it is. And you said you would leave me.
I appreciate you all taking the time to answer me, and I will leave you now. Alvida, if I meet you on the road again, I'll count it as a blessing. Thank you.
I cannot give that same sentimentality. And she turns her focus back to the tree. Fen, as you make your way back to the group.
Yes.
Both standing there like, okay. You were all together. It sounded like you wanted to talk more when you were outside of town. Is that your direction?
The direction Nana's heading. Was there anywhere else we needed to go?
I don't believe there was, at least from my knowledge.
Nope. I forgot about asking about Solvi. I got other more
Solvi.
important shit. I'm trying to find a girl who's important to me, not some random butcher we met.
There you go.
I mean,
You all-
the chances are pretty good at this point that she's probably one of those hooded figures, and they're all invited to the chief party and not us. So
You guys got to start showing off skills if you want to get invited to chief parties.
yes, gotta grow giant trees out of dead men.
It's true. You all make your way somewhat silently towards the edge of town. And Nana, his hand was right next to you. There was not a murmur of a spell. There was no wand. There was nothing of a sigil upon his hand. There was not a gust of wind, a flash of light. There was literally nothing, and this thing stopped at his behest. and all of you take steps outside of Noansict to hopefully be reunited with your friends who have stopped along the river, all very excited at the things they have seen. And that is where we are going to stop for today. Thank you all so much for being here with us today. We truly appreciate telling you guys' stories. Great, have a good time. Here at the Dice Call, we got a lot of things going on. On Tuesdays, we have Legends of Theo, which is DM'd by Frank. Bring a drink, watch a nice dungeon crawl, watch them beat up some monsters. It's a good, fun time. That is Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Abby, could you tell me about Wednesdays?
Absolutely. Well, on Wednesdays, we normally play a game called Cordially Invited. It's a D&D 5e game where we try to have a wedding go well. Has not yet, but we're getting there. But we're having a special little event that's been going on for a little bit. We are still in a wizard prison. We have some very high-level wizards. Well, wizard prison, who really knows? I mean, we could call it a wizard prison just because we're wizards and we're stuck here.
Or
But,
we could call it a wizen.
Yeah, we
Ooh.
could do. You can do whatever you want. I'm not the boss of you. But I will tell you to come to the Dice Call Twitch channel on Wednesdays. Not Twitch channel, the YouTube channel on
Yeah,
Wednesdays.
the other
yeah,
one.
Yeah, because
Forgot
we're
about
live
that,
there.
didn't you? Haha, we're on
Ah.
YouTube too.
I'm making sure you're paying attention. Yeah.
Keeping you on your
It's
toes.
yes, it's on the same time as this game, 7 p.m. Central Time, whatever that is in your own respective time zone. Come watch some very high level wizards do absolute nonsense, like nothing that makes sense at all.
That's truly the dream, and you love
we
to
made,
see.
we made like a UFO out of a Warforged kind of. It was,
Amazing.
How
yeah.
fun!
yeah.
Perfect.
If you guys are interested in that, you can also go over to the youtube.com / the YouTube, like I'm 70.
The YouTube.
Over on the YouTube. YouTube.com / the Dice Cult. You can watch all past episodes of On the Backs of Gods, all past episodes of Wednesday's show. And on Saturdays, we have Vampire the Masquerade and the Last Remaining Light, which goes live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Currently, if you just want to watch me get my shit wrecked, I advise showing up on Saturday.
Tyr gets to interact with the consequences of her actions, her least favorite NPC.
She's fine with that. It's just, punching has not been the answer for the past couple conundrums she alone is currently dealing with. But that's okay, because eventually maybe the answer will be punching, and then it won't be a problem anymore.
Yay!
And the rest of the coterie is currently standing in the kitchen of a sociopath. Maybe it would have been a better situation to have a bruiser in there and not in the social encounters. But we live and we learn. We die again, So if you're interested in some vampire
shiny and chrome forever, so on and so forth.
You could join us on Saturdays. If you want to keep up with us, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. Got a bunch of art if you want to go check it out. A lot of it done by the beautiful Abby. Very nice, very cool. We have NPCs. Nice. We got art. Got a map. Just keep scrolling. You'll find everything.
We got bingo sheets.
We do have our bingo sheets up there. You can see what people are going for and what they're up to.
We got a mark today. Contacting the uproar.
Oh, hell yes.
We're
doing it. I think a few people marked a couple things off today.
I want to inquire about a couple, but I'll wait till after we'll finish.
We'll talk about it. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
So thank you all for being here. We truly appreciate it. Love getting to tell you guys a story. We will be here same time, same place every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll see you guys next week. We are going to go take a nap. Good night, everybody.
A long one. Good night. Thanks for joining us, cultists.